Whenever.
Okay, so my name is Jason, and I'm refuting Kimberly Barnes' claim that population has a negative impact on the environment as well as the economy. Her secondary claims are overpopulation contributes to global warming. The second claim is overpopulation negatively affects the global economy. And her last claim is overpopulation contributes to extinction of life. My response to her first claim being overpopulation contributes to global warming is that she mentioned a 2009 study by Paul A. Murtaugh and Michael Schlags. The study is unacceptable because she did not provide the source of this information. She also failed to make correlations to how overpopulation contributes to global warming, as she mentions as the world's population grows unsustainably, so does unyielding demands for natural resources. She does not connect the natural resources to how it is connected to global warming, as global warming is caused by greenhouse gases. She generalizes that the world's population is what is consuming all of the planet's resources, when consumption is primarily based in the developed countries such as the United States. Thus, I do not agree that overpopulation contributes to global warming because of several reasons. First off, the Environmental Protection Agency states that livestock is one of the top reasons for global warming. A study shown by Eric Davidson of Woodhull's Research Center states that the reduction in meat consumption by 50% means the reduction of the top 3 greenhouse gases produced from livestock farms: methane, carbon dioxide, and nitrous oxide. The study is consistent with Christine Costello's study of Cornell University with a PhD degree in environmental related studies. The production of livestock contributes to global warming because of the feces it produces, the amount of resources to feed the livestock, and the next claim is overpopulation negatively affects the global economy. Once again, she did not provide the source for the evidence for her claim. Her choice of word was fairly bad because she said exploding population, where it could be interpreted in 2 meanings, where they're actually exploding somehow, or the fact that it's in extreme rise. I disagree that overpopulation negatively affects the global economy, as overpopulation is not the primary source that negatively affects the global economy, as so is more so the high consumption in developed countries, especially in the U.S., that leads to negative effects. The high demand or consumer, which is the U.S., and the available supply, which is significantly lower. This statement or evidence is supported by Fred Pierce, who is an environmental consultant on multiple magazines such as New Scientist. Third claim, she also did not provide source information. However, she did provide source information for other evidence in that claim that lead me to agree that overpopulation does contribute to extinction of wildlife, as to the increase in population, natural habitats are torn down to accommodate the demands for larger cities, more housing development, and new farms. And that's all.
All right, well, the main and secondary claims are pretty well laid out. Your signpost as you get to each of those points is also relatively clear, so you're doing okay there. You challenge the data on the first point, suggesting that they don't really provide a source, but you gave us the names of the two authorities that she cited. Maybe there was no bibliographic citation, but I don't know whether or not you did any research to discover who those people are. You don't give us any reason to believe that she's made these people up, so I think that the challenge here, I think, is a little bit problematic. It's underdeveloped. And then you kind of basically seem to suggest that the natural resources, well, that there's got to be some link to population, and you're not sure what it is, but I seem to remember a pretty clear explanation of what was going on there, so I'm not sure why you're having a problem reaching that particular connection. It's a consumption issue, and you say that's mostly in developed countries. That's your assertion. I think that you could show, for instance, that if consumption takes place, if 70% of the natural resources are consumed by developed countries and they have the smallest growth in populations, okay, then I can see that your argument makes some sense here, because then you've got a counterclaim, but you don't really present any evidence on such a counterclaim. On the next issue, you basically suggest that it's livestock that's causing all of these problems. It's a little hard for me to think that you are ignoring deliberately the reason that livestock exists in the first place. People are not keeping these as pets, all right? And it's largely designed, of course, to supply the large population with food. So, in essence, that seems to support the claim that the advocate's presenting. I mean, if I was the advocate doing a resubstantiation speech, I'd say, well, all you've done is illustrate the fact that we are so dependent on these sources to feed ourselves that it actually creates a bigger harm to the environment. I'd accept almost all of the premises that you said on that particular point. It doesn't undermine my claim. It actually supports those claims. And then you basically make the same argument on the next point that says that there's no clear citation of the evidence. And again, I don't know if the advocate failed to provide you with the bibliography. That is a little bit of a problem, but if they cited a source, you should be out doing some research on that particular information yourself. I don't think anybody thinks that exploding population means that kids are born and then they blow up. That seems like I'm sure that that's not the inference that the advocate was making on this particular point. So although it's an interesting language joke, and I like the visualization of the exploding population maybe creating CO2 in the atmosphere because they go kaboom, that doesn't really get you much. And then on the third point, you basically concede that point. So I'm not sure that you're challenging any of the advocate's reasoning. Sometimes there are some presses on the evidence, and in essence, the whole second point really feeds into the advocate's main point to begin with. So I think you've got a problem there. All right, thank you.